Well, y'all, I had to make some changes on the farm. Y'all, it's hot out here. I've already been out this morning picking some fresh peppermint and lemon balm and herbs like that to put into the freeze dryer and go ahead and get some tea leaves made. Always can use some fresh herb tea leaves. And I don't want to waste anything that I have on my farm. So the peppermint and the lemon balm had gotten ready. I've been harvesting some of the echinacea flowers, and now I noticed that the mullein, which I've already harvested some of the leaves, but I noticed that the mullein is flowering. So I'm going to get those flowers, put in some sweet almond oil to use for earaches. So I had to make some changes out here though, because things did not go as well as I had planned for them to go. So I had Nelly in the back pasture over there because Nelly doesn't get along with anybody. And the steers are in the big pasture here where there is more of the good grass that they like. The goats are over there in the pasture with the mini barn over on that side. I tried to turn Otis loose in the pasture with the bulls, and the bulls totally did not like him. I am getting another small pasture ready over there. I've just got to pull the wire. That's all it is to it. They just were out of it at Tractor Supply when I went to get some. But all the posts are set. I just need the wire to put up. That is like a few hours of work. No big deal. And then I'll have a second pasture over there near the mini barn to where I can put emus. First, I'm going to put the goats on it and let the goats clean it. And then it will be for emus. So when I put Otis in with the steers, it did not work at all. Oakley decided he didn't like Otis. Yes, Otis can run faster than Oakley, but Oakley has some endurance that an emu who is scared out of his wits does not have. And Otis was just, he was beside himself. He was nervous. He was scared. So I simply went to put him back into the backyard, and I opened this gate here and said, "Run, Otis, run." Kind of like run, Forrest, run. Well, he did. He ran. He ran out the gate and he ran back to the backyard and looked at me like, "Why did you do that, Mama? Why did you do that?" So also I didn't want Clover to be hurt. And Clover is out with them all the time, but supervised. So I needed to make some adjustments. It just wasn't working the way I had it. So let me tell you what we did. Well, y'all, it is so hot out here this morning that the humidity was in the 90% range. And I have sweated off any skincare products on my face. There's nothing left. And my hair is fried, dyed, and laid to the side. It's just fuzzy. But I don't care. Farm hair don't care. It doesn't ruin my day in any way if my hair don't look good. I go on and I get my work done. But let me tell you what we had to do. I had to get Nelly out of that pasture over there and put her in with the goats in the mini pasture where there's more grass, and she can be with the goats because Nelly likes the goats, and she won't chase the bulls won't chase her, and that would free up this little pasture here behind me that I could put Helen, who can't be with the steers because for some reason they tried to do ugly things to poor little Helen, and Helen's way smaller than they are, and it didn't work. I can't have Helen in with the steers until she's bigger and can defend herself. She's just too small. And she doesn't see well, so she doesn't see them coming to her. I got to get the geese away because you won't be able to hear me. Geese are gone. Somebody's always in my ear. Okay, so again, I had to free up this pasture and get Helen from the mini pasture over to this pasture and Nelly from this pasture to the mini pasture. So basically, I swapped places with Nelly and Helen to make room for emus because the emus would be okay with Helen. Helen's not going to hurt anything. And that will allow me to let Clover run free for during the day, because at night I want him in a stall. But it will allow me another week or two to get this pasture finished over here and have an extra pasture space. So that solved the problem. But the problem was getting Nelly from this pasture to over there. So this is what we did. So we blocked off the driveway between the two pastures. It's kind of like an alleyway. And we blocked it off with the cars and trucks. And I got a bucket of feed. I put the bulls up in a stall and I got a bucket of feed. And I walked across and called Nelly. It was way too easy, y'all. Nelly followed me right over there. She didn't run up and down the alleyway on the driveway. She did not do anything. It was as if she saw that gate and said, I've been watching that gate. I'm ready to go in that gate. And she did, y'all. She went right in there with those goats. Now, she did run for a while. This was the scene afterwards. Look how excited she is. All the goats are scattering. She'll lay down and roll in a minute. When she's excited, she likes to roll. There she goes. Oh, look at how much good grass. Look at you, Nelly. Look at you, girl. You got back with your goats, didn't you? She's excited. She's excited. She said, look, there's some real tall grass right here. So to get her from that gate over there, from that pasture, to this gate over here, we blocked off the driveway on both ends, cars, and basically walked her across with a pail of feed, and it worked a little bit better than any of us anticipated. Like she just went straight into the pasture. And she's happy she's back with her goats. Now, I gotta get Helen across, but Helen found a nice patch of grass that she likes. So I'm gonna let Helen graze for a little bit because I can guarantee you, Helen ain't going nowhere. She can't see how to get there. Oh, you're in the tall grass now. I almost thought she saw a snake. The way she jumped. Because that's pretty tall over there. She'll figure it out. So now, that brings us to the steers, Helen, and Clover. You can't have my coffee. He thinks he's got to have everything. If I had ice cream, you'd want that too, wouldn't you? I'm sure you would. Okay, don't slobber up my cup because I'm still gonna drink this coffee. Now move, move, get back. Get back, boys. Y'all get back. I wanna show them. Y'all gotta move. Okay. So now Helen is in there and I need to move her feed bucket. It'd be more convenient to feed Helen. Clover is in with Helen because Helen's not gonna hurt Clover. Clover's not gonna hurt Helen. And it allows Clover to have room to run. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, sweetheart. And Helen and the boys can get used to one another because they're right here beside one another again. Hey, Clover. Clover said, why won't you let me out into the pasture with the boys? Because the boys don't like emus right now. And Helen does. So you can run with Helen. He said, but I want out there with you. I want to follow my mommy. Clover is losing, look at Clover's head, y'all. Clover is losing the feathers from his head, his baby feathers, his stripes. And his head is black. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. Yes, you are. All right, since Nelly is in with the goats now, she's back with her goats, and boy, was she happy. These boys here are in here, of course, with Sophie. So Nelly is protecting the goats now, and Dixie that was over there, Dixie is in that dog house down there. But she's back in this pasture with Sophie, and Dixie just needs a rest. Dixie just needs to be able to rest instead of having to protect the goats. Let's let Dixie rest a while. Dixie is a little bit older than Sophie, and she likes to rest during the day because she stays awake watching everybody at night. But now she can help Sophie over here in the main pen. The boys deal with the dogs a lot better than Nelly does, and I don't want Nelly to hurt the dog just because she feels like now that she is the protector of the goats. So you have a feather on your nose, Ireland. Look at Ireland's nose. He has a feather on his nose. All right, look at his nose. He has a feather on his nose. Let me zoom out because You're a hot mess, Oakley. You're a hot mess. He wants my coffee so bad. Okay, now that brings us to this. So now I'm going to take this bovine rub back over again. I'm tired of toting it, y'all. Over there with Helen. So Helen can have a bovine rub. But what am I going to use for the boys? I have bought one of the curtains like Jason and Brooke have. And I'm going to put the curtain there in the doorway of the feed stall because the bulls are constantly going in and out of that door checking for feed, and they get fed twice a day in that stall. So I'm going to use the doorway for them as fly control and to hold the curtain. If you notice though, because they have the bovine rub, do you see that there are very few flies on them? Very few at all. Hey buddy. There's none on his back. There's none on his face. They have less flies than I have just ever seen. And Jason and Brooke's cows are the same way now, just no flies. And the flies are horrible here. Matter of fact, I have fly bags hanging everywhere to catch flies, but they still want to get on the livestock. And I want to show y'all something. This is what I'm about to do right now. This is literally one day. No, not even a day. I cleaned this yesterday. This is the water tub. I cleaned it yesterday. Yes, you can see it is a little clear, but it's green and got poop in the bottom of it because Gus the goose has been in here, and I have been putting him in at night into the barn. And so he comes over and he gets in this. Now, it won't be long, but he won't be in this area because we also, you see he's over on the pond right now. Let me try to zoom again. As you can see, Gus is on the pond over there, and the way to prevent having to put him in the barn at night is simply, we're going to fence in the pond. We're going to add it to this back pasture here. And it has some really good grass around it. In the field in front of it, some really good grass. And they will enjoy that. So he will be able to stay inside the fence at night and not have to worry about predators getting him. And I won't have to worry about that messy water tub. Now, I cleaned this one at the same time yesterday. And of course, it's still clean. It's really good and clean because Gus is not in here. Just Helen and Clover. I gotta go and turn the hose on and get this one cleaned back up while Gus is not in here. And the bulls, they slobber in it, but I guess that is to be expected. But I want their water source to be clean and full. So I'm gonna go and get the hose turned on and get the water cleaned back up. And then I'll get the curtain and look at it and see what I need to do to get it hung up and to get the bovine rub there moved back over with Helen. So, to recap, Helen is in the pasture with Clover, who will come into the stall at night. The boys are in here with Sophie and Dixie and all the chickens, of course. Stop, you cannot have my coffee. And Nelly is over with the goats. living her happy life. Yonder she is. She's way over yonder. She is loving being with those goats again. And there's some pretty daggone good grass over there that she's liking. So now I'm going to finish the small pasture at the end of this one. Nelly's gonna live with the goats with the mini barn for a little bit. I gotta go get a bigger trough for water for her today. And then we are going to also fence in the pond. So we will have enough pastures. Now me, I'm going to relax this weekend. I'm gonna finish my coffee. I've got to go meet someone here in a few minutes that called and had some psoriasis issues, and I made her some calendula salve and got her together some peppermint and lemon balm for tea. Explained the use of turmeric and black pepper and diet changes of less sugar and glutens to make her gut health better. And explained I'm no doctor and I'm not diagnosing and I'm not treating. I'm simply offering herbal suggestions. And so I'm going to take her some goat milk soap with some salves and some tea leaves, and just to get her started, just as a gift, because I think, instead of supplying the herbs, if something works for her, I can teach her how to plant the herbs, harvest the herbs, and dry the herbs and use the herbs. And I think that would be better. The old saying goes that if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And that's my goal. Feed them for a lifetime. Don't do what I do. Do what works best for you, and use the things that works best for you. I love the herbal teas. I've made some sleepy time tea that is just amazing. I put some chamomile and peppermint and lemon balm, some holy basil, some passion flower in there. And who wouldn't sleep with all that? But right now, I've got to finish harvesting from the garden. I've got blueberries and blackberries coming in, squash and green beans, and get those in the freezer. And cucumbers. Of course, the cucumbers, sometimes I just go ahead and eat them because they're a great healthy snack. They don't give you any extra calories, because I have to save those extra calories for when I want some ice cream. If you know me, I like me some ice cream. But I've got several projects that I'm working on right now that I'm going to be showing you. But the first project is I'm about to go and get this curtain out of the package and get it hung up and get the other bovine rub moved. And then I'm going to rest for the rest of the day. Probably going fishing a little bit, maybe tomorrow or Saturday on the lake. And I just have been trying my best to find extra time to rest and relax and enjoy the farm and enjoy family time and do some things that I want to do. Now, yes, it is very, very busy right now, but if I can spare a few hours in one day a week to rest and relax. I'm watching Nelly. She is running over there. It's just good for the mind, good for the body, and good for the soul. Okay, y'all, I got it up there, and it's not pretty, but I've got extra ropes for extra support for the wires that I've got hanging. I need to cut that one off. But I've already got it filled with the oil and the fly solution mixed. So I've got it hanging. We'll see how it works. I'm trying to determine if it started wicking yet, and I think it has, because I think that right there is kind of moist. So it's probably beginning to wick. Yeah, I can see moisture right there. All right, and they do go in and out. Now, these over here that are out of the doorway, I do have them tightened a little bit more, because no need in wasting those wicks with solution if they're going through this area over here. So I will check it later today and make sure, but I noticed that the boys have been rubbing their faces on it. In the meantime, I did pour some more solution here on the back rub. They can continue to use this for a while until the other one gets saturated on the wicks, and then it will get their face also. I had to wash their tub over there where Ireland is, because y'all saw the goose had gotten it extremely dirty. So, well, that's all for today. I have got 2 more projects that I've got lined up to do and to get finished, and I will show you that as I can get to it. But as of now, we've got everybody separated. We've got emus in the pasture, and we've got cattle rubs hung. That's a good day's work. Y'all farm on.